Hello.
Hi Hayden, how are you?
You know what? I've been better.
Am I right in thinking you've just been to New Zealand's first IKEA store? And I know IKEA isn't an American brand, but I do associate it with America because that's the country that I first went to IKEA in.
Yeah, I had to go to the opening of our first IKEA store. It was pretty humiliating for us as a nation, I think, and the whole saga it's really eliminated what shreds were left of our dignity.
Now you went as in your capacity as a journalist. Just what can you report back from the opening of IKEA in New Zealand?
Well, I can say that our prime minister went to open the IKEA.
Are you serious?
The prime minister opened the IKEA. Yeah. Can you imagine Donald Trump just like turning up to the opening of a Target?
I mean, I kind of can actually.
Yeah, maybe he would open a Target. But that's just to give you a little taste of what it's like being in New Zealand.
Today's episode is about reality TV because it was sort of birthed in the United States. I'm not a big reality TV watcher. I honestly don't know if you are either, and I'm just wondering what your hot take is on reality television.
I'm not the hugest watcher of it. I think that America did birth it, right? But we have a claim to fame that we did the first music reality TV.
Oh, New Zealand did?
Yeah, what was it called? It's called Popstar or something like that. And we formed a girl group, an all female pop group called True Bliss.
True Bliss.
And that was the first show of its like around the world. And then like there's been heaps of spin-offs, obviously, and The Voice and X Factor is another one that's just like that. But we did the first one. So suck it, America.
I'm David Farrier, a New Zealander accidentally marooned in America, and I want to figure out what makes this country tick. Now, growing up outside the United States, the way I mostly learned about this quite weird country was through television. For me, I think it was a mixture of Home Improvement, Beverly Hills 90210, Married with Children, Full House. They all gave me a nuanced understanding of American culture. But if it's one genre, one thing that really exports the lifestyle of America to the rest of the world, it's reality television. I suppose we got a glimpse of what reality TV could be with Candid Camera in the late 40s. That show went on and on and on, and somehow by the 90s, full-blown reality TV was born with stuff like The Real World, followed by giant hits like Survivor and American Idol. Full disclosure at this point, as I said to Hayden, I don't watch a lot of reality TV. I'm not a snob. I think the whole genre is pretty incredible and it takes skill to make it pop. I just tend to watch other stuff for my own escapism. So in this episode of Flightless Bird, we talk to a seasoned showrunner of reality TV to find out what makes the secret sauce and meet a man who's made a career out of being a reality TV contestant. So, sit down in front of your TV and prepare to find out what Rob's favorite reality TV show is, because this is the reality TV episode. Support for Flightless Bird comes from HelloFresh. Now, you've probably heard of HelloFresh already. They're the #1 meal kit in America, making home cooking easier for chef-crafted recipes and fresh ingredients delivered straight to your front door. And this fall, they're serving up even more to love. This isn't the HelloFresh that you remember.
It's bigger, healthier, and tastier. They've doubled their menu, so you can choose up from 100 options each week, including new seasonal dishes and recipes from around the world. Feel great with an even healthier menu. That's always my problem with some of these food services. I feel like I'm not eating healthy enough.
No, you want healthy.
You get to choose from 15 plus high protein recipes each week with options like grass-fed ribeyes or lamb chops. They help you eat greener with new veggie packed recipes that have 2 or more veggies per dish.
And they're also tastier, which is very up my alley. Get steak and seafood recipes delivered every week for no extra cost. Now with 3 times the seafood options. Savor the season with hearty fall recipes like classic beef chili or honey glazed pork tenderloin. And discover new seasonal produce each week, from leeks to broccolini to Italian eggplant and more.
I just made the HelloFresh chicken sausage rigatoni. It has bell pepper and lemon in it. That was really delicious. And then we did a sweet corn and green pepper chowder on the side.
Yum. Yeah, for someone like me who is incapable of cooking as well, this whole situation is pretty much a dream for me. The best way to cook just got better. Go to hellofresh.com/bird10fm now to get 10 free meals plus a free breakfast for life. 1 box with active subscription, free meals applied at discount on first box, new subscribers only, varies by plan.
That's hellofresh.com/bird10fm to get 10 free meals and free breakfast for life.
Flightless bird, touchdown in America. I'm a flightless bird, touchdown in America.
Rob, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm really good. I found saying reality TV and all the syllables quite difficult in the intro for some reason, but we got there.
Yeah, you said it. You said it.
What's wrong with me?
I don't know.
Sort of reality. What was I doing?
There was a few times that when you were reading it, I was like, "Oh, you're going to do another take on that."
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Said it
just
odd,
like push through. Yeah, no, just struggling to speak tonight.
It wasn't an accent thing this time either.
What was it?
I don't know.
Am I
you
having
having a stroke? Yeah.
Just quickly, I wanted to talk about pop stars, which Hayden mentioned. Because until he brought that up, I had completely forgotten that fact.
Mm-hmm.
But New Zealand essentially invented the music reality TV show. I copied down some facts from the internet. The series was called Pop Stars. It was a single season in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
It spawned the whole genre of music reality TV.
When was American Idol then? Like 2001?
2000s.
2000.
So the band that was formed in New Zealand was True Bliss. It was less reality TV and more like straight documentary. It kind of like followed these pop stars along the road. It wasn't like a singing competition. It was sold to about 50 countries as a pop stars brand. The German version of Pop Stars was the most successful overall. Although the show has now died out in most other territories, it remains one of the most successful television formats of all time. Thanks to what country, Rob?
America?
New Zealand. Pop Stars is credited as the precursor to Simon Fuller's Pop Idol and American Idol, and is one of the major players in the reality TV spectrum. So I just want to say, while we're going to be talking about a lot of American reality TV, New Zealand is not out of the conversation.
Oh.
Just wanted to say.
All right.
I feel I don't often speak up for like the brilliance of New Zealand and into the cultural lexicon.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this,
we have you to thank for American Idol, which we both love.
Great show.
Yeah.
Okay, quick admin about our Patreon.
Yes. We have something fun we're going to do.
Yeah, I think you and I are both very excited about Patreon because it's a way to fund the show and to make it work. Mm-hmm. And we need to think less and less about ads. If you're on Patreon already, you'll know you can be listening to this, maybe you're already listening to it ad-free, extra stuff.
And then every week when this drops, there's also a bonus episode.
All over there. So we're not going to harp on about this too much. But did want to say, Rob and I were sort of thinking about some different fun goals we want to get to, because I think both of us, if we don't set goals about how we want to grow the show, it's very easy for it just to become a bit of an ethereal mess.
Yeah, and to have nothing that we're striving for.
Exactly.
Just, this is fun.
So what we did, we sort of mapped out 4 goals of how many subscribers we want on Patreon.
Yeah, this started as a joke.
It did.
And then
a lot of this show starts as a joke and then becomes something real, which I quite like.
So this is going to be kind of a contest? We're setting benchmarks, and every time we hit a benchmark in subscribers, it's going to unlock something.
A thing.
Something fun. Hopefully.
Like in a video game where like you get all the things and then something happens.
Yeah, we're going to make it real American and add some gamification.
That is what America does so well.
Yes.
So
right now we're currently sitting around 500 Patreon subscribers.
Which blows our mind.
Yes, that's a lot.
And logging into Patreon feels like a really fun time right now. The discussion's fun.
Yes.
The feedback's fun. The ideas are fun.
The chats are fun.
It's kind of the dream scenario when we started this thing. Our greatest fear when we started is that we would get 3 people.
Yeah. Your mom, my mom, and Hayden.
Yeah, exactly. No one needs that. But no, 500 already feels alive.
Yes.
And so let's keep growing this thing and telling people about it. So we've come up with 4 different levels.
Yes.
When we get to 1,000 subscribers on Patreon, we're going to do 2 things. One, during that week where we reach 1,000 people, Rob is going to crack an egg on my head at some point during that week. It'll be unexpected.
Yeah. Hopefully on camera, hopefully during an episode.
You'll see it.
Yeah.
You'll see it. And the other thing we're going to do, we're going to book an Alamo Theater here in Los Angeles. First in, first served. We will watch, and I will watch for the first time ever, Lord of the Rings with you.
The trilogy.
The trilogy.
So it's like a whole day of...
Oh, fuck. Thinking about this now, is the trilogy too much? Is that too insane?
No. I mean, once you watch the first, you're going to want to watch the second and then the third.
9 hours?
Yeah. It's a weekend marathon with Bravid.
Thank you for using my correct name. Yeah, all 3 films with you, first in, first served, egg cracked on the head. That's when we reach 1,000.
Yes.
The next benchmark we've set, 1,500 people, also known as 1,500.
Yep.
We are going to fly Rosabelle, who you hear about at the beginning of most episodes. We're going to fly her here to Los Angeles.
Have her in the studio.
We're going to have her in the studio.
Come on an episode or 2.
And the aim is to pressure her live on air to reveal her first ever email address, something@hotmail.com, which is still a mystery, but we'll get her to here to LA for 1,500 subscribers.
Yeah, we'll get her to say it too.
I'm not convinced. She's very reticent. She's very worried about what it will mean for her life and her career when that email is revealed.
Yeah. Well,
We'll
you
see.
know it. So if you fly her here,
Oh my God.
I think you'll just tell the world it in front of her.
2,000 subscribers.
This is a fun one.
Do you want to reveal this one?
David and I are going to get matching Flightless Bird tattoos
Yes.
that the Patreon community will vote on
Decide.
and decide.
Location on our bodies to be decided.
Yep.
We need to think this through a little bit more.
Yep.
It won't be
no
a face. It won't be a face tattoo, but it will be a permanent marking on our bods.
Yep.
That's 2,000 subscribers.
Yep.
5,000 subscribers, which is, I think, a pipe dream and will probably never happen. But if it does, and you kind of came up with this, we will shoot more Dark Tourist.
Some episodes. Episode?
We need to figure out the budget.
Yeah.
But there'll be more Dark Tourist.
Yes.
One of the most annoying questions I've gotten since 2018 was, when is season 2 of Dark Tourist?
Yeah. When we hit 5,000 Patreon subscribers
You
is
will
where
get
season 2 of Dark
that.
Tourist is. Does Netflix own the rights to...
No, so I need to look into this. I believe the rights have expired, and we can now take it and do it. I'll need to clear it with my producer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'll be on board.
Yeah.
Also, a tip, if you're screaming at someone to make another season of something, generally it's not the creator, it's generally the network. So if you want more Dark Tourist, should have gone to Netflix.
But now go to Patreon.
Come to Patreon and tell us.
Get more Dark Tourist.
Because, we mapped out a whole second season.
Yeah.
Like, there are places we can go and things we can do. My original DP is ready to do it.
Yeah.
So, if we ever reach 5,000, and I think this will never happen, but if it does, more Dark Tourist. So recapping, 1,000 subscribers, Rob is going to crack an egg on my head, and we're going to book a cinema and watch Lord of the Rings, the whole trilogy. First in, first served listeners in LA.
That means that first come, first serve.
What did I say? Yeah, absolutely.
First in, first serve.
First in, first come, first serve.
Yeah.
It'll
be free. It'll be free to as much as can fill the Los Angeles Alamo Theater.
Yeah. First time I've watched Lord of the Rings. It's going to be very exciting. 1,500 subscribers. Rosabelle is coming here to LA. We will get her to reveal her first ever email address. 2,000 subscribers, matching tattoos for me and Rob. 5,000 subs, more Dark Tourist. Okay, that's the admin. Reality TV. So in preparation of this episode, knowing we were doing this, I tried to just jot down
the reality TV that I will watch, and the different buckets are the ones that I have watched. There's a lot. And I think even just what stipulations makes it reality TV or not. Because is a game show reality TV?
I'd argue no.
No.
I think no. I
Okay.
think that's a different thing.
Okay, and like documentaries, not reality TV.
Not real, but it gets blurry.
Yeah, because like a documentary TV show.
It gets blurry because, I mean, the thing with that New Zealand show, Popstar, that was more in the realm of doc than reality. I think to me, what defines reality TV is that it's a format. So it's this definitive thing that you can make a million versions of that thing.
Well, okay, so we're going game shows don't count, but what about cooking shows? Those are cooking competition. Like
I would say
game shows
yes.
are competitions.
So what's the difference?
I know. Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, completely. Because I would see cooking shows as being reality.
Yeah.
But I feel there's a built-in competition because you're following.
Yeah, you're following the characters more than you would on a game show. Like you're watching Price is Right or Jeopardy. Like there's very little focus on who the people are.
There's like no character development. You're not learning anything about them besides are they smart or are they dumb?
Yeah, but you're watching Top Chef. Mm-hmm. You're watching a whole season of people getting voted out and you're learning about the different chefs.
You're watching them having meltdowns. Yeah. You're watching them having triumphs. And I think that is part of it.
Is it just the fact that they're on multiple episodes?
Yeah, continuing characters. People getting eliminated.
Because it's not normal that a game show you're going to have contestants go on beyond. I mean, you do have like rare. Jeopardy where the winner does go on. Yeah. But like Wheel of Fortune, you're getting new contestants. Family Feud, every new contestants.
Reset. You and I have both done Family Feud, which is a surreal thing to say.
Separately,
I still can't believe we've done that. That's so weird.
My friend Dan last week texted me that he's like, my mom got really excited. She thought she saw you on TV. But I told her she was crazy.
No, that was Rob. He was on that show.
Oh, was she watching Family Feud? And he was like, yeah.
I mean, Steve Harvey is iconic. Like, it's mad that we have both been in that room.
Yeah. And did you talk to Steve at all?
No.
Me neither.
No, he comes on, he does his job very well.
Yeah.
And then he fucks off.
Yeah.
Like, he's done.
Yeah.
I also feel he's shooting about 4 episodes a day.
Oh, yeah. We talked to people before and after.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah. Well, to catch people up, you went on with Reese Darby?
I did, with his team. So he picked me to be on his team.
Yeah.
And you went on with?
Rachel Bilson.
Yeah, right.
Went on her team. We got killed.
Yeah. It's unbelievably the roller coaster nature of it. There is no rehearsal. You're just kind of like shoved on board. It's like a ride at a theme park.
Yeah.
And once you're on, it's kind of happening and you're like, in your brain, you're like, oh God, it's rolling.
Yeah.
Am I doing okay? You don't really know.
No.
And then it's over.
I know I did bad. I did bad. I lost.
Well, I was lucky because Reese was so good.
Yeah.
Like it kind of honed in.
Yeah. We had to do a retake of a celebration because Rachel and I went to High Five.
Yeah.
And we missed. So they made us celebrate.
So that was a little pick up afterwards.
Yeah.
So and for 5 seconds, go.
Yeah. Cheer. You guys just got the points. Go,
Did you
go,
connect
go.
the second time?
We did the second time.
That's mortifying.
But
missing a high five is one of the most mortifying things in life.
But it would have made for great TV.
It would be very funny.
All right, we're getting off track.
Okay,
so,
what have we got? What are the shows?
Reality TV. So I put them in a couple buckets. I do watch cooking reality TV.
You love cooking.
Not as much recently, but Great British Bake Off. That's my like go to sleep show, and also new seasons I'm watching.
Yeah.
Week to week.
When you say go to sleep show, it's like comfort?
Comfort, like I put it on every night. Like I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I sleep with the TV on.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is new.
Yeah.
In the bedroom?
Yep.
What does Natalie think about that?
She hates it.
Because I go to sleep to podcasts usually. I'll have that going. But
I need something to distract me. Like otherwise I'll...
Are you lying there sort of watching and then your eyes slowly droop? Or is it the sound? Because I love every bit of this.
So I have to put the volume almost as low as the TV will go. And the brightness down pretty low. Because she does not like it.
No, of course she
and I have to set the sleep timer. Because I think the most annoying thing about it is I put it on and then I almost like instantly...
You're gone.
Knocks me out.
Yeah, and that thing's playing until the sleep timer goes.
But if it's not on and I'm just in like black with nothing...
You're not sleeping.
I'm not sleeping. I'm not going to fall asleep.
That's so funny. I get it. because I do the same thing with podcasts.
Yeah, my
It's
brain's
just,
too busy
yeah.
otherwise.
Yes, comfort.
So we have old seasons on every night, and Natalie she'll watch.
Yeah.
And I just put on like, I don't know, I almost don't care at this point.
And at
I'm
what
just like
point
picking a season.
during the watch do you put the volume down very low? Like you go from watching to sleep time.
Well, so
what is that
the
transition?
This is the thing. When I put that on, it's like I'm ready to go to bed in the next 10 minutes.
It's like Pavlovian. It stops in. You're like a Pavlovian conditioning.
Before that, I will watch half an episode of Chef in My Fridge.
Okay.
Which is a Korean cooking show.
Okay. Half an episode.
Half to a full. Depends on if I'm going to bed too late or not.
So you're watching that and you start to feel sleepy. You transition into.
I can't sleep to that. It's in Korean. And I have to be watching subtitles.
Incredible. I love this for you.
So I watch Chef in My Fridge, which is great. If anyone listening has watched it, maybe write to us about it. And,
you love it. You're looking for a friend
favorite chefs
that gets how good it is.
It's incredible.
Okay.
They did an episode recently where they had the like, what does Korea have? President?
I assume a president. Yeah.
They have
prime minister? I think president.
They have the president of Korea as the like guest. So
amazing.
The show is there's 8 chefs,
Mm-hmm.
each sit on one side of the table, other side of the table, and then they bring on 2 just like Korean celebrities.
Okay.
They then take those people's fridge from home.
Okay.
Bring it into the studio.
The fridge arrives.
Arrives.
Yep.
They go through it and like talk to them,
which is fun. That's a fun activity.
The stuff they have. I sometimes skip over that part.
Okay, we're starting to get sleepy.
Yeah,
it's 11:30 p.m. by this point.
And then the person whose fridge it is says, "I want this kind of dish, and I want this kind of dish.
Make it from
my ingredients. And then 2 chefs compete for the first kind of dish. 2 chefs compete for the second. They have 15 minutes to make the best dish.
Oh my God.
The fridge owner picks their favorite.
Okay.
But it's like all insane chefs.
Yeah. They know what they're doing.
But it's like a Korean game show style edit.
Right.
Where there's just like crazy graphics.
Yeah.
Going on all the time.
Screen.
Yeah.
There's people like looking for a lot of facial reactions.
A lot of making fun of each other, which is fun.
Wow. Will you do this tonight after we record this episode?
I'll watch that tonight, yeah.
And then you transition into Bake Off. Then at some point the volume goes right down to the lowest. And you're
3.
off in about 10 seconds.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So other cooking shows. You got Top Chef, you got Master Chef, you got Kitchen Nightmares, which I liked a lot.
Okay.
Not American, I don't think, originally.
These are ones you rate?
I what?
You rate them? Like you like them?
Yeah, I like them.
Okay.
Culinary Class Wars, which is another Korean one.
Okay.
And it's a lot of the same chefs from Chef in My Fridge.
Great. You're in heaven.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But that one's never on before bed. That's separate.
No, that's one I want to watch.
When you're wide awake.
Yeah. But Great British Bake Off is like a very comforting watch.
I think what you just raised is a big part of reality TV is it is like comforting and nice. It's like familial and you know these people.
Yes.
And you're not going to get too stressed out.
I got into Great British Bake Off heavy during COVID.
Yeah.
Like it was a very like comforting.
Yeah.
Oh, these people are so nice.
Yeah. The world is okay.
Even when they're competing, since it's not an American show, which I guess we're breaking the rules a little bit by discussing.
It's fine.
Non-American,
the UK
Korean
does good
show.
reality show though. They do really good stuff.
And a Korean cooking show.
That's okay. It started in America. We can branch out.
Okay, and then move over to like competition reality shows,
which is something you love.
I do enjoy to a degree.
Okay.
Survivor, I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They're on season 49 right now, and I've seen most of them.
The only thing I really know about Survivor is Mike White, who created White Lotus.
Yeah,
it's Mike, right?
Yeah.
He's been a competitor.
Yeah, I think he's coming back for season 50 as well.
And the only other fact I know is that some of the people he casts in White Lotus are old contestants from Survivor.
I think he got voted out one of the first on his tribe.
And went okay for him.
Yeah. Because that was like right before White Lotus too.
Mm.
Then The Challenge,
Mm-hmm.
which came from Road Rules Real World, which is like really OG
Real
reality
World was
here.
like the beginning
yeah.
of all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Road Rules, I think, came shortly after Real World.
Okay.
Do you know about Road Rules?
No, I know nothing.
Nothing about Road
Never
Rules.
heard of it. Didn't know it existed.
It was another MTV reality show where
Okay.
they like, so Real World, they were just in a house living together, and it was.
Which, for the record,
filmed
my
in-
understanding is that was the first reality TV show of all
Was it
time.
really?
That was it.
Okay. So then Road Rules happens, and then they do the challenge started as Real World Road Rules Challenge.
Oh, the two worlds
Yeah,
together.
they brought them together because Road Rules was a little more challenge based. They'd live in like a big RV
Mm-hmm.
and go around the country,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd have challenges.
Okay. And you love the show. You were on board.
I liked early seasons of Road Rules,
Okay.
yeah. I didn't watch Real World so much.
Okay.
That was a little more risque for
Bit naughty.
my age.
You're a kid.
When it
You're
first
10 or
came
something.
out. Yeah.
You're 5.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
I'm quite 5. I remember there
Sort
was
of
like
sexy with the hookups and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And there was
It was horny. It was MTV. Horny.
There was a girl from my high school, older than me,
Mm-hmm.
that was on one of the seasons of it.
That
I
would be
remember.
exciting for you.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
Great. And then
Uh-huh.
you've got Traders. I watched
Traders,
Traders,
huge.
which I love. Traders.
Traders is great.
Mhm.
Apparently, Hayden, when I talked to him for this episode, he went on rambling on the Traders UK at the moment is apparently top tier.
All the other seasons are great.
They're all
I've
good.
watched Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I tried watching New Zealand.
Mhm.
Couldn't.
So something I have to say,
Yeah.
my tickled co-director Dylan
Yeah.
was on New Zealand Traders, which
Yeah.
is insane. What didn't do it for you? Was it too small, like the sets and the sort of the scope, or was it the accents?
I don't know.
Did it make you too horny?
Yeah. I think I had watched too much Traders. Like
You'd maxed
I watched
out.
the American one, and then I was like, oh, I like this a lot. I want more. So I watched
Yeah.
the Australian one.
Yeah.
And then I heard the UK one was great.
UK is so good.
And then found the New Zealand one and was like, all right,
Turned it
this is
off.
too many seasons of,
I'm done.
of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
show.
Because that's one thing I would add. I think the reason I haven't gotten into reality TV, it's not out of snobbery. It's like it's too intimidating.
Yeah.
Once I start, where do I stop? You
Yeah,
just
yeah.
talked about Traders. It would take me so long just to cover all of that off. If I get into Survivor,
Mhm.
Bachelor, Real World, like where do it's too much.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I haven't started, because it's like, Jesus, it's too much to get into.
Yeah. And there's the Survivor, like
Oh.
if you go far back, like there's some really good seasons too.
Yeah.
There's the whole dating reality, like Love Island, and
Do you partake?
no,
Don't do that.
no Bachelor, no Bachelorette.
None of that stuff. Our most successful reality show, or one of them, was The Bachelor. And you know how there's these celebrities created out of the
Yeah.
results, obviously. Our only sort of, I'm probably going to get ridiculed for this. I feel like our only celebrity to come out of New Zealand was the winners of The Bachelor. Matilda Rice, Art Green. Beautiful couple. New Zealand fell in love with them. They're still getting product deals.
Are they still together?
Years on, still together.
I
They're
think
happy.
most of the Bachelor
They stay.
don't stay together here.
Well, New Zealand was
Yeah.
beautiful. We
Well, I
fell in
think-
love with them.
I think some of those shows, I feel like different kind of people are attracted to be contestants on
Absolutely.
those shows.
Yep.
Where like Top Chef and those that are based on skill sets, I
Yep.
like a lot because you've got like Kristen Kish,
Yep.
who's just like an insane chef.
Mhm.
And that's why she's so good on that show.
Yeah, right.
Which she's gonna be on the new season of Traders, which is
Okay.
cool.
Oh, you love this shit, eh? You're so
it's
across it.
It's
I'm
coming
like-
off like I like
No,
reality
that's good.
TV
No, but it's good that you do.
quite a bit more than I actually do.
Well, it's what you go off to like sleep to each night.
Yeah, cooking
It's a
ones.
big part of your life.
Yes, cooking ones. I think the only ones that we actively watch right now, though, are Survivor and The Challenge.
Okay.
Outside of cooking ones
Okay.
and Physical 100, and we just watched Squid Games Challenge.
Where are we at on your list?
I mean, that's mostly it.
Mostly
Like,
it?
I have early on, we had, you had like the Osbournes,
Oh, huge.
which I guess not American either. Real World Road Rules, American Idol. I did want to ask you The Truman Show.
One of my favorite films of all time.
Mhm.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I remember obsessively trying to get the soundtrack on CD for that when it came out.
Did that movie do anything to you when you saw it? Did you think you were...
Oh, no, it blew it. I didn't think I was on a reality show, but it made me completely... That film is kind of in the same territory of Jurassic Park, where at the age I was at, it kind of broke my brain.
Yeah.
Because I think it was such a big, fun concept and so well executed. And we hadn't had a lot of reality at that time. It was early days.
And I think the like scale of the hypothetical ability to do something like that and
Oh my God.
what people would consume.
Yeah.
What stakes they'd be willing to raise in order to just be entertained.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you could watch that today and it still resonates with all the themes that were built into that program.
I also feel like it's not that insane that they would do that. Like that, though, someone would do that to a
Completely.
person.
I mean, there was a documentary about, I believe it was a Japanese game show where they locked a guy in a room for a year and he had to survive on coupons. So he would get delivered magazines with coupons that he could clip out and he could only order. So he lived on rice for about a month.
Yeah. That sounds like Survivor. I don't know.
It's kind of like that, but it's like he was like trapped in this world. And I'm not sure if he knew he was being filmed. I might be wrong on this, but I feel there was an element of it where he had no idea that he was becoming this phenomenon while he was on the show. And it was very Truman-esque.
Well, you get into the ethical implications of that too, because you have Jury Duty that was just massive a couple years ago.
Completely.
Which was the same thing of like...
one person not knowing they were in a completely made-up environment.
And didn't sign up for it.
Yeah.
Which, I feel like could be problematic. And I think he's even said that, like, it was traumatic.
Yeah, right.
For him to have experienced that. And, like, it has messed with him as far as what's real or not.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen that show, you should definitely watch it. Essentially, it was a member of the public that was selected to be on jury duty. Everyone else, judge, other jury members, James Marsden was all in on it, and this member of the public just had no idea that everything was being filmed about them as opposed to the actual jury process.
I think he was aware that it was a show of some sort.
But he thought he was in with all these other people.
Yeah, and they were all actors, and it was all about him.
Fucking incredible.
And then they were filming him
James Marsden's
too.
Best performance of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cool thing about that is the cast and people that were involved did feel very protective of him.
Right.
And I think even James has come out and said that he wasn't willing to do certain things that made him
look bad,
more butt of the joke.
There was also, they happened to cast, I mean, the central character was so sweet and earnest and one of the best humans I've ever watched on TV before.
But it's
you couldn't help but love him.
But that'd be such a mindfuck to...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, Truman Show, loved it.
And then Honey Boo Boo?
Yes.
That was a big one at one point.
Should we begin with... So in this episode, we've basically done 2 interviews to present to you.
Yep.
Who should we start with, do you think? Honey Boo Boo? Should we start there?
I think let's start with the producer.
Yeah, so it's basically Sara Reddy wrote into us back when we were doing a Flights of Fancy and said, I'm a showrunner on a bunch of reality shows. Do you want to talk to me? So fucking of course we do. So essentially she was a showrunner on Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. And before that, Toddlers and Tiaras. And she said, I will talk to you and you can talk to me about anything and I'll give you my insight into this.
Both of those were maybe seen as somewhat problematic reality shows. Is that safe?
Yeah, absolutely. No, totally. I mean, as far as reality goes, they were ones where it was in that space of being, there were children involved, for one thing.
And exploitative. Like, I think that's where the ethics of reality TV gets
completely
a little questionable.
Yeah, that's the thing. And we talk about this. It's like, you've got these members of the public who are not aware of what this will do to their lives and how they will be treated and what it will look like.
But they're also willing participants.
Oh, they want
which
it
is
so
the
badly.
other interesting piece of it.
Well, the parents are, but then the added element of you've got these kids involved and kids, their brains aren't fully formed to give consent and suddenly they're stars. And the thing I really liked about Sara is that she was up for talking about all of that. And like she knew the areas that were murky and were weird. And she was willing to go there. And so, yeah, this is my conversation with Sara Reddy, an EP and showrunner on some of the craziest reality shows you will have seen. Stay tuned for more Flightless Bird. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Aura Frames. Now, Aura Frames has been with Flightless Bird for a while. We love Aura Frames, and it's the answer to every holiday gifting moment. I've given Aura Frames to friends. I've given them to colleagues. You can't go wrong. It's a digital photo frame that you can upload whatever photos you want, and then the giftee can also add on whatever photos they want. It's the perfect gift, a personalized, really fun, very cute, very into it.
This has become my go-to gift for people that I don't get to see all the time. We send Aura frames to people that live across the country. We get to interact through these photos that we're uploading directly to the frame, which is really cool. That you get unlimited free photos and video by downloading the Aura app, and you connect to Wi-Fi, and then you upload. And you can preload all the photos before it ships, which is really cool. So when they open that gift, all they do is turn it on, and photos are there for them.
Also, there's a gift box included, so every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. So that's a pretty great thing for someone to receive. My parents actually complained the other day that I don't update it enough, so I'm going to actually do that after we record this ad.
So don't wait. Win the holidays with Aura Frames. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code BIRD at checkout.
That's AURA frames.com, promo code BIRD. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Helix. We love Helix. They've sponsored the show from day dot. They are a wonderful, wonderful bed mattress that will give you better sleeps no matter whether you're a back sleeper, side sleeper, whether you've got a shitty back, a good back. Helix mattresses are for you.
I've been staying at Not My Home the last couple months, and it has the worst bed.
Oh, nothing worse, right?
Having a bad bed. We bought like mattress toppers trying to fix this mattress. I cannot wait to be back in my home with my Helix mattress because I wake up in the morning and my back is just wrecked.
Also, I have a terrible back, so sleeping is really important to me because that affects how I feel, and I've found that my Helix mattress has really helped in that situation, which is why I have extra warmth and affection towards them. It's also really easy. You just jump online, you do a Helix sleep quiz, and that matches you with a perfect mattress based on your personal preferences and how you tend to sleep. It makes buying a mattress really easy. It's also award-winning. It's the most awarded mattress brand, so don't just trust me. It's been tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired magazine.
And they have free shipping and seamless delivery. Helix delivers your mattress right to your door with free shipping in the US. And rest easy knowing that they take seamless returns and exchanges. The Happy with Helix guarantee offers a risk-free, customer-first experience designed to ensure you're completely satisfied with your new mattress. So 120-night sleep trial with a limited lifetime warranty.
So go to helixsleep.com/bird for 27% off site-wide.
27%, that's crazy.
It is. It's exclusive for listeners of Flightless Bird. That's helixsleep.com/bird for 27% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name into the post-purchase survey so they know that we sent you.
helixsleep.com/bird.
My name is Sara Reddy. I am in Los Angeles, and I am an executive producer, showrunner of reality shows. The showrunner part means, there's a lot of executive producers on productions. A lot of them are money people. They own the production company. They're on the network side. They hire me to come in and actually make the show and oversee the execution of the show.
What was your sort of foot in the door to the world of reality TV? Because I feel like there are a million different pathways into that world.
It was completely accidental. I dropped out of college and was trying to decide. I thought I wanted to be a fiction book editor. I was an English and literature major. I wanted to help shape stories. I dropped out of college to try to decide exactly what path I wanted to be on. And I got a job. I wanted a job where I could read books all day.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So I got a job as a receptionist. I knew I wanted to be around creative people and not in the retail world. So I got a job answering phones at a reality TV production company, and I could just hide behind the desk and read a book and transfer calls all day because it was when you needed a human to do that. And as I sat at that desk and saw all the productions happening around me, I realized it was a visual version of what I wanted to do. You're figuring out how to tell stories and helping people tell stories. It was just with video and audio instead of the printed word. And I loved the concept, we're all freelance. You go from project to project to project. So you're never bored. You're constantly learning. You're dropped into places you would never go otherwise. You're meeting people you would never meet otherwise. You get to immerse yourself. You're not just a tourist. You get to genuinely drop in. That was all so appealing to me. So I started out on the writing side of it. I would write pitches to develop shows because that used, kind of my English background. And then next thing you know, because it was early days of reality TV, nobody had experience. Nobody was coming in with experience. It was brand new. So people were coming from game shows or news or things that were unscripted, but everyone was just making it up as they went. So it was very easy back then to get your foot in the door because nobody had a resume.
What kind of year was this roughly?
2001.
Yeah, okay. And it's funny, all the things you mentioned about liking this genre are the reasons I think really liked journalism and documentary. It's like, it's this ticket to full immersion in this world that you wouldn't be a part of otherwise. It's kind of amazing.
It's incredible. And I'm constantly surprised. I'm constantly surprised by people and places and never bored. I've learned, I've been in the deep South for years at a time with Honey Boo Boo, really immersed with people that I don't think I would have been able to meet otherwise. I've been all over the place. But the other part too is it gives me permission to be incredibly nosy. I get to ask people questions you're not allowed to ask in normal conversations. Yeah. It's not polite to dig into people's lives and ask probing questions and ask people about their secrets. And that's my favorite part. I'm usually on your side of this where my job is to ask questions. It's just permission to be incredibly nosy. And that's what keeps me going is every new assignment. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to go, I've been given permission to go dig in and be nosy in these people's lives.
You just casually mentioned Honey Boo Boo earlier, which you'd when you originally emailed in about reality TV, you mentioned that. And for someone that isn't aware of that particular show, could you just sort of explain the premise of what that is and where it came from?
Sure. So I was on the show Toddlers and Tiaras, which was a series that chronicled child beauty pageants, which was, a very popular show at the time. It was kind of a lightning rod because that topic is very controversial. Yeah. And that series was very hands-off in its producing because the pageants existed. We did not cast the pageants. We just would go to a pageant and pick 3 people to follow and just follow them.
You're right. So it was more of a traditional kind of a documentary ethos behind it in a way.
It was with a built-in game because, it's kind of a perfect format because there's a competition involved and a winner. So you want to stay tuned for that. And it was almost like a sports documentary meets, like pop culture. It was to me kind of a, setting aside any of the moral parts of it, it was a perfect show because you're building towards a competition. You get to, in the same way you watch an Olympics package, you get to meet the athletes, find out what their history is, what their training is, why they want to win, and then you get to play along and watch them compete.
Very boring sidetrack on that. I'm curious when you go into one of these situations and you're following, say, 3 kids as they go through this situation. How does it work? Because you don't know who is going to win. Is there a situation where the person wins, you haven't been following them? How does that work within the universe of that show?
It happened all the time. We would cast with an eye of wanting different stories, wanting, very practical choices, wanting different looking girls. You can't have 2 blonde girls the same age or it's just hard.
It gets confusing.
It gets confusing. Part of the casting was wanting an awareness of, these girls did this every weekend. You knew the ones that did very well and the ones that didn't. And we kind of wanted a blend of that. But it would have been boring if we only followed the people that always won. They weren't necessarily the best characters.
Of course.
So, we had a ton of episodes where none of our competitors won the top prize. But the pageant world kind of gives everybody a title.
Plus, you're seeing how those kids react to what happens when someone does win who isn't them, and you've got all that inbuilt drama.
And how their moms react.
Mainly the moms.
Really, that was a show about the moms. That was kind of the kids were the way into the story, but really it was all about the moms.
Before we get into Honey Boo Boo specifically, we talked about the controversies of the space a little bit. As you spent time with these families, I look at it, I'd love to do a Flightless Bird specifically about this scene at some point. Mm-hmm. And, I sort of feel like the whole thing feels not good. But I'm wondering if your preconceptions changed as you spent time with these families and these people, if you came away thinking differently or doubled down on what you might have thought. I'm curious about that.
It wasn't that spending time with the families changed my point of view so much as becoming a mom. So I was not a mom the first couple of years I worked on Toddlers and Tiaras, and I had a lot of judgment about these mothers, a lot. So much so that at times I kind of looked at the series as a way to stop these moms from doing it. If we shine a light on it, certainly someone in their life will shame them into stopping this practice. Surely they'll get enough backlash that they'll stop doing this. I became pregnant while I was working on the show. And it wasn't until I had a child that I really understood that all these moms, they are no different than soccer moms, softball moms, parents who have their kids taking violin lessons and piano lessons at age 3. There's nothing different. And I know the argument can be made, but yes, they put makeup on their child and maybe pageants sexualize children, and that's wrong. But any world that you're in and surrounded by and immersed in, things get normalized. So and none of the moms started out there. They all started out with a, pretty Sunday dress, no makeup. They put their child in the pageant and they lost because they weren't doing the
interesting. Right. Yeah.
So then the mom feels terrible that they put their child in a position to lose and then said, okay, if we want to keep doing this, then I have to help give you the tools to win. No different than you do with soccer, where you get them extra lessons, you get them better cleats, you all the things. So once I had a child and started realizing parenting in general and seeing all the parents around me in, 2-year-old ballet classes and parents are over involved, I really changed how I saw it and saw that these were parents that really wanted to give their kid a leg up give them an opportunity to travel to different places, give them an opportunity to have experiences, to have titles, to succeed in no different way than all parents want their kids to succeed because of our own egos. We love it when our kids win awards. We love it when they get straight A's.
Yeah.
All that is the same. This just happened to be with like wiglets and fake teeth and spray tans, but it was all the same. And another part that we never were able to really explore on the show, A, because the audience wouldn't care that much, and B, just the timeline of a pageant day, we would have too much overtime. These families went to these hotels every week for these pageants, and the pageant was one part of their day. And the rest of the weekend was all the kids playing together, all the kids swimming in the hotel pool, which is like every kid's favorite in the world.
Just a big socialization.
Big socialize, yeah. All the moms, hanging out and talking about parenting, so that was a thing that I was aware of during production that we never really got to capture. We would end with the awards show. So I definitely came into it with so much judgment. I mean, that was the whole fun of the show, is let's judge other parents. Like, everyone wants to sit at home and judge people. And I came away from it later when I had my own kid and was just in the parenting culture more of like, oh, every parent does this in whatever way it is. Piano lessons, like you name it, it's the same thing.
I'm not a parent, so that's something I hadn't really clocked and thought about. But observing parents, certainly kids are put forward to fulfill all sorts of their parents' sort of fantasy lands of success, and whether it's like making them go and kick a ball around on the field or play the violin or really intense ballet lessons. That's really interesting. Thanks for that. Okay, so that was sort of a documentary style show, Toddlers and Tiaras. Honey Boo Boo, obviously, got this sort of this kid that, I mean, we didn't have that show in New Zealand, but I knew Honey Boo Boo because he probably ended up on our 6 o'clock news or something. What was the difference with that particular show, creating that and making that into what it was? How did that differ to what came before?
So Alana, who is Honey Boo Boo, but her real name is Alana. She was on Toddlers and Tiaras, and she was a fan favorite. Anybody who saw that episode, she exploded from her appearance on Toddlers and Tiaras because it was their approach to pageants was very different. A lot of our families either were pouring a lot of money into pageants, whether they had it or not, or, there was a certain type of family that most pageant girls came from. And this was a very different family. They had no money. They, lived a very, very modest life. Alana wasn't your typical pageant girl look. Her routines weren't as polished as the other ones, but she had this undeniable personality. So she became the sensation. TLC obviously said, wait a minute, let's check this girl out and see if we can get another series out of it. It originally was supposed to be another pageant show where we were going to follow her doing her pageants, and it would just, be following her family. I went out to Georgia and met with the family and left there and pitched to TLC. I think this would be better as a sitcom. The pageants would get old. I didn't know how we would sustain that. There was this family with 6 people with crazy names. It was Chickadee and Pumpkin and Sugar Bear and Honey Boo Boo. And you could not script anything this wild. People would tell you were insane. So I pitched it as a sitcom, and it was a very, very different approach than Toddlers, where, the event already existed and it was very documentary based.
And this is almost what I want to zoom in on, because it's something I don't understand is you've got your characters, but you don't have a clear plot about where this thing is going. It's not a game show. So how much is artificially built into let's create a plot and challenges they must overcome, and how much is sort of fuses in with old school observational documentary where you're just following things and seeing what happens? And this is very complicated, but I feel like a real dummy because I feel I still don't get it on a show like this.
It's a really interesting area. And I think a lot of people think reality shows are faker than they actually are. So I'll do my best to explain how I produce the show and how I thought about it. Most people's lives are very boring. And most people's day to day, we shoot a typical schedule for Honey Boo Boo was 5 days equals one episode. So you need a beginning, middle, and an end, and a story arc and clear conflict in 5 days of life. That doesn't happen. That is easier on a show like Real Housewives, where you have an ensemble who have been specifically cast because they have so much conflict in their life, and you have 16 characters contributing stories. This is one family, one story each half hour. So because we decided for it to be a sitcom, I really took the concept of situation comedy and produced it that way. So the artifice of the show was coming up with the story of the week. So an example would be, let's give the girls chores. Let's start a chore chart this week. Were they really going to start a chore chart? No. But let's see how the girls handle chores, and let's give a loose outline of things that they can do and how the mom can come in and turn it on his head and see what they do in that situation. The magic of Honey Boo Boo was this family they were so charismatic and so interesting. We could give a really straightforward premise, like, hey, let's give the girls chores and have them earn money and see how that goes, or let's take away their phones and see how that goes. And it would go off the rails so quickly, and it would take a left turn into areas you could never expect. How they would react, how they would behave in those situations, you could not predict. So then it would become real and take on a life of its own.
Yeah, so you're sort of giving them this instigating kind of factor in their life and then letting it go off wherever it goes.
Yes. And on that show specifically, a lot of credit goes to Chris Fraticelli, who was in the field every day. And I hired him. He was not a reality TV show producer. He was an improv guy. And so he had done man on the street stuff. He had worked with Average Joes to kind of create content with Jimmy Kimmel and other people. But he was very much used to seeing what's going on and figuring out how to kind of build on that. As opposed to, a lot of reality show producers, have a different eye for things. And so this was, of any show that I've ever done, the most quote unquote produced. But the people were real. The reactions were real. The world was real. They lived in a house on the train tracks in this small town with one signal. They were who they were. We would build on it sometimes, we would identify, like, Sugar Bear, the dad, he was a man of few words. So we really leaned into that, and he became, basically kind of the silent dad. But it was definitely more manipulated because we would show up each week. I would pitch ideas and, family traditions for Christmas that weren't their real family traditions, but they had to execute it and do it. And that was the magic, is we would kind of give them the task and then step back and watch them take it off the rails and take it in directions that you could never imagine.
No, that makes sense. And the other thing I'm curious about within that show, and maybe other shows you've worked on, I'm curious because, I think about something, just to make it all about me for a second. I love doing this. When I made Tickled, say, a documentary, I'm never leading someone on to say what I want them to say. I'll ask them questions, they react. I'll try and ask some questions that hopefully get into the territory I want to get in, but I'll never say to them, okay, can you just say that line but differently? Maybe just say it in a bit more of an angry way, or could you just say that name for me, please? I'll never direct like that. I'll just hope that they respond in a way that gets me sort of where I'm trying to go in the story. With reality, how much does it differ in that territory? How much are people being directed with their reactions, or if they do something that doesn't sort of fit into where you'd like that story to go?
This is, I think, probably the most nuanced skill of reality show producers, because these aren't professional actors.
No.
And where you get your worst reality TV is when non-actors have been scripted in what to say. And I think people at home, their spidey senses pick up on the cadence is wrong, things are too perfect. So I think this is where the real skill of reality TV producing comes in, is sitting across from someone. We know what we want and what we need. We are often surprised by answers, and then we, can go down a rabbit hole. I mean, that's my favorite part. I'm sure it's your favorite part, where you ask a simple question and then suddenly you're on a whole new journey. That's absolutely one part of it. Another part is that by the time we're interviewing, the episode is well underway and being edited, and we know the pieces we need to connect the dots. We know we need to set up the conflict clearly. We know we need to get reactions to things that happened 2 months ago and have it feel real. So it's finding the way, it's constructing the interview and the questions to get what we want out of them. And that's probably,
it's pretty similar to what I do. It's not that different, to be honest.
You have to think about how you have to get to know that person and think about how they react to things and how their brain works. And so figure out how you can kind of lead them where you want them to be. There are definitely times when we straight up ask someone to say something, but it's usually not at all what people would think. We're not saying, will you please say that you hate this person, even though you don't? What we're asking, it's usually connecting pieces. Like, we need you to say, today I arrived at this place and I'm meeting so-and-so. It's like exposition stuff. And that stuff can be fairly scripted, and it's because we need a little piece. Most of these shows don't have voiceover or anything. We really need our characters to be our narrators, and sometimes we just need those connective pieces. We'll ask people to say things again, like, can you say it again, but include the person's name? Because if you just say she, we don't know who you're talking about, that kind of stuff. But that's pretty boring. I don't think that's what people think is manipulative.
No, really? Completely. That's just a very practical way. We need to make this make sense in a story. So please say their name.
So really, I think, the power of reality TV is the talent of the person doing the interviews and their ability to connect with the subject and lead them into being really honest and showing their emotions and bring them back to that place where they were. And it is a manipulative thing. I mean, any kind of interview is manipulative because we know we want a story, and we need people to share probably more than they would share
100%
on camera. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic, almost, the relationship between an interviewer and an interviewee, because it is all very parasitic and unusual the way this whole thing works.
Yeah. You're building trust. And you genuinely want to build trust, but it is a relationship with an imbalance of power. There is, an agenda involved. I'm being paid to create a hit television show. I need these people to say very interesting things. So a lot of thought and time goes into the interviews. And I think, as we were talking about before, audiences can feel it. Whether they care or not is debatable. Audiences can feel when something isn't real. So you get a much better show if you are fishing in the pools where there's actual story, and you have an unsuccessful series and an unsuccessful show, and you won't get multiple seasons if you're faking everything. It just doesn't work. So I think people think things are faked more than they are. When in like that, it's not sustainable. If you just go cast somebody else, go find a different subject.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think we get a little bit of a bad rap on, how much we fake things, but it depends on the production, and it depends on the producer. Every producer has their own set of ethical rules on, where the line is on where they feel comfortable. And that part, I think, is really tricky. And maybe it's I feel like, and maybe I'm super naive, and of course I am because of our media today. I feel like with journalism, there are some standards. There is some like oath that you're supposed to follow, whether people follow it or not.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting thing. I think certainly over the last sort of 5 years, I think the general public has of course, become very disillusioned with journalism because there had certainly been some dicey things going on. But I think people have also forgotten that, no, there is like, what's different to a full powered newsroom and someone on TikTok? There are standards, and there's fact checking, and there's all this stuff. And I think the general public has gotten very lost in that. So probably in the way I get frustrated and want to defend journalism at times, you probably feel that way in a way about reality shows. In a way, it's like,
In a way, but I also see the other side where we don't have journalistic.
I see. We don't. Yeah, I see. You see the difference.
Don't have some oath. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I really feel like it is a case by case basis of whoever the producer is and whatever their own lines are that they're willing to cross or not. So
well, maybe that's sort of an interesting thing to sort of think about, because obviously, you will have a certain relationship as well, because you're growing up with Honey Boo Boo as well, like, so you have that's a really interesting thing to have. And you obviously have your own internal ethics and morals. When you zoom out and look at reality TV as a whole, how do you think it's sort of doing in the sort of the ethics and morals kind of space? It's a very broad, weird question, but do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I personally, and this is a little bit of a crossover with social media. I have a very strong viewpoint on children being involved in reality shows now that I didn't know enough when I was doing Toddlers and Tiaras and Honey Boo Boo.
Their brains aren't fully formed, right, to make any kind of important life decision.
How can you give consent, when you're that age? How can you, even if a producer is doing their best to make sure they're getting consent in the moment, to make sure they're, treating it as if it's their own child and what they feel comfortable with, it doesn't mean that 8-year-old isn't going to regret the rest of their life that these things were captured and shared with the world. So that's something that I think is a broad question for us to ask. I also feel very, very passionately about getting more support to all people that appear on reality TV and producers with therapy, with, the process itself can be really traumatizing for people. And they can suddenly become very famous. Their story can take on a life that they weren't expecting. There's a lot of reality shows, unscripted shows that are now diving into trickier and trickier stories of cults or, trauma related things, and how sharing these stories, the person can then have a whole new set of trauma and have a whole new, can be really deeply psychologically impacted.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I feel like I'd thought about this before, but I think I really observed this in a way that felt closer than normal when the Tiger King came out. Was that the title of the show, Tiger King?
Yep.
Yeah, there was a character in that show who was sort of a minor character, but he witnessed something awful. He witnessed a death in the show, and he's sort of quite comical. And after that show came out, overnight, he became famous. We all knew who this person was. And I just casually sort of watched what he was doing. And of course, cameo calls. So suddenly he's doing cameos. But I was also following his personal Facebook page, which was open. And I saw this person descend into a lot of really awful psychological problems. I think there was a lot of drug use going on, and you could really literally see it happening in front of you on camera.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that there wasn't any, going on him constantly needing money from viewers of Tiger King, there wasn't any kind of support. And it's just, he wasn't expecting to be a celebrity in this way, and most people don't know how to cope with that. And it's not like there's something like American Idol, right? Where someone goes on that show, they want to be famous. The end game is fame. If you're in a show like Tiger King, you don't really go into that probably thinking, oh, I'm going to be famous. And then suddenly you are. And my point is, I agree with what you're saying. I think the whole it's so important that there is care for these people after the fact, whereas I feel a lot of them are just discarded.
Completely discarded. That's the business model, and unless so I do a lot of docu-follow series where you're following the same people season after season.
Yeah.
Even then, you're lucky if you get 3, 4, 5 seasons and then you're dropped. Even then, there's no built-in support. And I would argue even people who are on American Idol who are seeking fame, they still are not equipped for it when it happens and still need the support, and it's the same thing with the producers. There's a lot of incredible burnout. Producers that work on true crime shows or projects that are a little more investigative where suddenly you're diving into, sexual abuse or cults or true crime. You end up embedded in these people's lives. You end up almost because of the nature of interviewing and because of the trust, you end up almost as an accidental therapist, which we are not qualified for. And you are in this position of, you get to know these people, you want to protect them, but your job is to exploit them. And that's a very tricky territory. And I cannot tell you how many people in reality TV, like you do a project and then you have this incredible burnout. I'm sure you've faced this.
Oh, yeah.
You have to catch your breath, regroup, suddenly moving on to a new project, and you're still kind of dealing with the ramifications of the one previously for periods of time. So I think just the fact that this is based on real people and there is no support for the real people is a really big problem. And there are groups that are working on this that are really amazing. There's a documentary made about this where they interviewed documentary subjects about how it impacted.
I watched that at the film festival in New Zealand. The name of it completely escapes me. But
Subject.
Yes. Yeah. Talking to the people it was incredible.
And my very close friend, Jen Teixeira, directed that. And it's
amazing.
because she was an editor and she kind of saw like, oh my gosh, I make these decisions while I'm editing it and it impacts people for the rest of their lives. So that's something that I think is a really, really important moral question and has impacted how I work and the projects that I do in a really big way to protect myself, to not put myself in a position where I'm feeling irresponsible. I've been in so many scenarios. You're in these real people's lives. I've been in so many scenarios where in between filming, I'm talking to someone that we're filming with, and they're telling me that they are severely depressed and they have tons of anxiety, and maybe they even have suicidal ideation. And they're telling me,
Yeah, what do you do with that? Yeah.
What do I do? And we do have a practice where we can offer a psychologist that we pay for, but I don't know who those people are. I don't know if that's actually helping. It's definitely an area that we all need to talk about more because I don't think the genre is going away. So I think there needs to be some more responsibility.
I have a very shallow question, and I'm not a reality TV watcher, not out of snobbery. It's just I tend to watch kind of drama and sort of, it's just, but if I was going to watch a reality show, and let's get out of like the ethics and morals, but just well-made reality TV, do you have some sort of go-tos and where, as someone that makes the stuff where you go, this is really well made and it's doing some interesting things and it's just really fucking entertaining?
Yeah. My go-to and probably my favorite show is Love on the Spectrum.
I feel that's one of the most pure reality shows where it's doing good somehow for the people in it and who are watching.
And it's done very responsibly. You can even hear it in hearing the producer's voice and how they're asking questions. And I think it's smart that they include that because you feel protective of these people and you want to make sure, like as a viewer, you feel protective and you want to make sure they're not with
Of
some
course, because if
producer.
you're thinking about, that show is also walking a tightrope because
It
it's like
is.
working with kids where you don't want to take advantage of someone who's neurodivergent
Yep.
and has a different understanding of what's going on to a producer, for instance. So it's a really fascinating space, but I feel like, God, they do it well.
They do it so well, and it could be done so poorly. They could have made a few different decisions, and it would be all the worst things combined, where it was exploitive, it was cheap. I think they really trust the audience, which not enough reality shows are allowed to do. And I think it all comes down to how it was produced, which is I think the kind of the key to everything is if you get a good producer who's thinking about the ethics of it and thinking about creating a show that puts the subject in the best position to be happy with how it turns out, I think that's a North Star.
Speaking of sort of the spectrum of ethics in shows, I feel like something that always stood out to me, I don't know if you know this show, Embarrassing Bodies. Have you heard of this?
I don't know it.
It's incredibly captivating and it works, but it's so, I think, morally repugnant, where essentially, I believe it's in the UK.
Okay.
And they have people with who are generally don't have very much money. They have a medical problem. And so they will go into the reality show to the doctor and they'll say, I have this problem. Will you fix it for me? And essentially, to appear on the show, they will get their medical problem repaired, but it's a cameras have to be on, it's this deal that is done where it's like, we have no money, we'll fix you, but you have to be on TV.
Right.
And that feels so exploitative and horrific. An example is just someone will go in with like a horrific tumor that's been growing for the last 15 years and it's awful. And you look at it and it's shameful for these people, but it's their last resort. And that's the whole show. It's called Embarrassing Bodies. It's like it's body shaming people. The only upside being that they do have a doctor that fixes it, but at what cost,
Sure. Right. We've had several that are kind of in that space. We had early days of reality TV, and who knows, these will probably come back because things cycle.
They always do.
Yeah. So we had in the US, we had one called The Swan, which was taking ugly ducklings and giving them full body plastic surgery.
Oh, wow.
And beautiful.
Jesus
and same thing. Obviously, there've been like think pieces since then saying, I can't believe we ever did this. We're still doing versions of that all the time.
100%.
The Bachelor, you're getting people to come on and basically agree to get married or at least engaged to somebody, and you don't even know who's going to be on it. And get your heart broken. And, there's a lot that aren't as extreme, but still there's kind of an exchange that's a little funky.
Okay, completely. And you'll have the whole of America and the world watching your romantic failings happening,
Yes. Yeah. And going into it agreeing that like, if I'm at the end, I will get engaged to this person who I don't know. It's dicey because people are put in a situation where they can set aside any worries they have about that because they just want to get on the show and they just want to win the prize and they just want to, get on TV, and it's this big, fun, juicy thing that you get to be a part of. Yeah. And then you're really in it and you're a real person with real feelings. And that's where it gets really, really complicated. Yeah.
Final question for you as someone immersed in this world. Are you seeing any trends in this reality TV space of where things are going and what they're doing? Or is it sort of the same old stuff? Basic ideas sort of recycled, repackaged?
There's always, always, always trends. I would say the biggest trend right now is making shows cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to make. And so that means that's across all of entertainment. But that comes at a cost. That means you're cutting corners, and that is one thing to do in a scripted series. It's another thing to do when real people are involved. Yeah. So I think always with reality TV, it's like you have to remember these are actual, normal, real people and their actual lives that are being, turned into a commodity. And so if you're cutting more and more corners, it just gets trickier and trickier. And there certainly isn't a therapist in the budget,
Stay tuned for more Flightless Bird. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Bombas. Now, this time of year, it's sensory overload pretty much everywhere. It's very American. It's what America does at this time of the year. But one feeling we're still all chasing, cozy. That's what I want, especially as it gets colder. And Bombas has the socks, slippers, tees, and basically everything to get you there.
There's something weirdly therapeutic about fresh socks. The sock scientists at Bombas have found a way to channel that energy into everything. So they have more than just socks. They've got slippers with sinking cushioning and satisfyingly weighty t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got answers for all your gifting questions, too. So what do you get your brother's new marathon training girlfriend?
Oh, God.
Or what about your mom's new young friend that she met at the ski lodge?
I can't believe you say that about your mum, Rob. Basically, what we're trying to say is there are gifts for everyone at Bombas, and it's really worth looking there if you are figuring out what to get someone that you love.
And we haven't even gotten to the best part. For every pair of Bombas you purchase, they donate one to someone facing homelessness on your behalf. So anytime you get something cozy, you're giving cozy as well.
I love that. And throughout the year, I've talked a lot about the socks that I like on there. They had some hungry caterpillar socks that I absolutely loved. They all feel thick and luscious. I use them for hiking. I use them for going out. I use them pretty much all the time. I wore some Bombas to bed the other night because it's so friggin' cold.
Yeah, you basically just want any socks that have a splash of color.
Oh yeah, that's all I want. So head over to bombas.com/bird and use code BIRD for 20% off your first purchase.
That's bombas.com/bird, code BIRD at checkout.
Support for Flightless Bird comes from Shopify. Now, when you're shopping online and you see that purple Shop Pay button, that is what Shopify is. It's that magic button that saves all your details. And whether you're a shopper or you're someone that wants to use Shopify for your site, that purple Shop Pay button changes everything because it makes the whole experience so much easier.
Yeah, I've been using that button so much right now because it's the holidays. And
endless.
Almost every site that I shop at online has that button and everything is just preloaded in there. It's got all my information saved.
Yeah, no one wants to be typing in their credit card every time.
No,
Horrific.
It's so annoying. And your address and all of those things. You don't need to do that.
We like the Shop Pay button. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the United States, from household names to brands that are just getting started. And if you are selling stuff, Shopify gives you the leg up from day dot with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style and forget about any of that annoying code.
And we mentioned that iconic purple Shop Pay button. It's used by millions of businesses around the world. It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. So your customers already love it.
If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/bird. Go to shopify.com/bird, shopify.com/bird. Sara Reddy, insane insights into making these shows that I haven't thought a lot about before.
Yeah, I mean, it also just really blurs the line between documentaries and the transition from documentaries to reality. And
totally.
Because it sounds like Toddlers and Tiaras were really just documentary
kind
shows
of.
At that stage. They were
they had the competition there.
Yeah.
And they were following different kids on that road, and so they had the built-in format. Yeah, and it could there was a version of Toddlers and Tiaras that could have been a 90-minute Sundance documentary.
Yeah.
Of here we are, we're just observing, we're not changing anything, we're just in the room with them.
But it's once you start introducing and manipulating the reality of it is what makes it reality TV.
Yeah, that's the question. When does a documentary become so warped and cheap and non-artistic that it becomes reality?
Well, and then there's the weird line of just the act of cameras around you is changing your reality.
Yeah.
And how you're acting.
Yeah.
Not necessarily making you inauthentic, but...
Yeah, but altering what would happen otherwise.
Yeah.
Because there's that thing of the idea of the second there's a camera in the room, the situation is going to be different to what it would be without it.
Yeah.
And so already it's warped.
Just hidden cameras.
And this is hidden cameras.
Yes.
And then it's just, okay, so how much more warped is that reality if you have a producer there going, hey, maybe today we should try this activity. Why don't you do this?
Well, and then that keeps getting pushed more and more of how much a producer then starts to manipulate. And like from show to show, there's not like a code of ethics.
That was something she said,
following.
right? It's like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
But she was at a point where she was like, I don't know what other producers would do on this.
Yeah, which you can
And
tell there's shows that are definitely
my
more
God,
manipulative of
completely.
how they're portraying people and what they're choosing to show or how they're editing it.
And that's the other thing. It's how much is manipulated in the moment where you've got a producer or a director going, hey, can you do that differently? Can you get more mad than you did before?
Or
But
just
then-
retake that line and instead of
retake
she
that
say the
line,
person's name.
And then the manipulation that's going on, which I'd argue is even more manipulative, which is in the edit, where you can pretty much change every single moment and every take on what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I would never go on a reality show, because I want control of the edit. Like I just couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I'd have to. The idea of handing an edit of your life over to someone is just too. Because I know how much it can be changed. Like I've sat on a documentary timeline and seen how things could be tweaked.
Okay. Well, we're saying the lines blurred a little bit between documentaries and reality TV. What about podcasts?
In what way?
I mean, it's meant to be like a real life
Us hanging out, talking now.
Of authenticity. Like we're not characters right now.
Yeah.
We're ourselves.
Yeah, but we know that there's
format and structure, but it's a conversation.
But how much does that change it to when we're talking without cameras around us and what's going on?
Yeah.
And I would argue it.
And is all of this a larger, like people over the last 20 years, 30 years?
Just being used to being recorded.
Well, but the interest in the reality world in that space, like, is that why podcasts are even at least the more conversational, less produced ones is like, I want this glimpse into reality and I want to hang out with this person for 2 hours a week.
Yeah, and I don't want it to be all completely honed.
Don't want it scripted. I want it authentic.
Yeah, awkward moments, weird moments, sad moments, happy moments, all thrown into the mix. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think there's a reason.
Are we reality stars?
It's bad enough when you fucking told me that we're now YouTubers because we're on YouTube. Yeah. Don't dare make that transition. But I know what you mean. I think it feels like reality TV has trained people to have a different relationship with people.
Yeah, the parasocial thing.
Parasocial. And it's that thing of the argument, I guess, against reality TV that people would make is that you are famous for doing nothing. Like you're famous for being famous. And that's where if people were going to look at, I don't know, I don't watch enough reality shows. But the idea that
we got to have like a counter.
The number of people that have gone, I don't watch this.
Yeah, the number of times you've insisted you do not watch reality TV.
It's like I protest too much.
It feels like a little bit of a lie now, David, since you're insisting you've never
swear to God.
Seen a reality show, but then you somehow knew about
all these shows.
All these shows that I think you watched Popstar. And what was the surgical one she mentioned?
Embarrassing Bodies.
Yeah.
I have watched some reality shows.
Okay.
But I guess my point is...
You don't watch reality shows.
I don't watch reality shows.
And nothing against it.
Nothing against it. But it's like, it's that thing of we've gotten used to listening and watching people that don't have any inherent ability or skill, right? Yeah. It's like we used to get excited about people because they were like very good at acting and they were sexy and they're in films, or they were a performer and they had an amazing voice and music ability. Now we're used to watching people just because they are charismatic and they are in front of us all the time.
Well, there's definitely this trend of like reality TV to then where social media is trending, and it's just I want access to everything and I want to see what this person's actually like. Whereas before that, like the people you were admiring and the movie stars, there was much more mystery,
which was
to them. But now, like,
that's all
access is.
Oh, and then you get into something like streaming and streamers where like you were like podcasting, but you're on for like 8 hours a day.
Well, I guess that's my question too. Are we just trending towards
Christ.
It seems a lot of this is just like more and more and more access to these people that I'm a fan of.
That you perceive to have something that you were interested in.
Mm-hmm. And like at what point does too much access then pull the veil on it?
Completely. Because I think what you're saying, there's a world where I think when I grew up, I enjoyed the mystery, like having mystery behind who an artist was or who an actor was intriguing. When now we know way too much about everybody.
And you almost expect to.
Yeah, and if you don't get that, you're like, why don't you give me more? I want more.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that leave us? I mean, we're all, Are we part of the problem? Is that what you're saying?
Like,
what we have learned so far, 2 hours into this episode, is that potentially we are the problem.
Yeah.
And that's something we need to reflect on.
Yes. But so for the next part of this episode, I have a friend that has partaken from the contestant side. So we're moving away from the like slice of life a little bit. My friend Jordan has done a million seasons of the challenge.
And he's a competition guy.
Well, so he started on the Real World though. Right. His first season was Real World and then transitioned into the challenge. And he's just this phenom. I play softball with him. And he has one hand. So even like he plays on a men's softball team with me with one hand and still like
slays.
Is incredible. He's running like doing triathlons and like he's one of the most competitive people that I know too.
Yeah, right. It's like built into his DNA.
Yeah. So he's done so many seasons of it. I thought it would be fun to talk to him kind of about that side of the reality TV world.
Well, he's in it as opposed to producing or show running. It's like that is his entire existence.
Yes, and his perspective is certainly different than Sarah's.
My name's Jordan Wiseley. I did the Real World back in 2012, 2013. And from then on, it was kind of reality show after reality competition show after celebrity reality show to more competition shows. So let's talk reality TV.
11 seasons of the challenge, is that right?
10 seasons of the challenge.
Oh, but then like the NBC version.
And then there's like, they had like spinoffs.
I did the old man version on
All Stars.
Paramount
and
Plus.
Then do you remember we did a couple
world ones?
That one I count because there were good people. Like it was tough competition.
5-time champion.
5-time champion.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Was it 1.5 million?
I don't think it was that high, because if it was that high, I'd be a little bit depressed that I've blown as much as I have. I think
fair.
I was like 1.2 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, enough that we can talk about it in terms of like money won. Like that's I like that stat. Not just that it's mine, but that like we have been doing a thing long enough that like that can be calculated.
Yeah, it's not a episode of Chopped where you're winning $10,000 at the end.
Yeah. Those were a challenge was 1 through 10.
I think it's like the unique thing, or maybe it's not that unique in America, where like you have made a career for like a long period of time working in this very specific type of TV. You know, like that's a gamble, and you've been really fucking good at it.
Yes, and it was like out of spite, like winning and things were like out of spite because I was just so like. I want to be an actor. And like when I got interviewed for the Real World and stuff, at the last interview, they're like, and you're like on camera and they're like, yeah, we want you to like be on the show. And I was like, oh, and like, we're going to Portland, Oregon. And I was like,
I was auditioning to host the show.
I'd been there before. I'd like been there. Like my dad had worked at a hospital there. So I'd like spent some time there. And I was like, and then all I knew about the Real World at the time was like people go on there and like drink, fight, fuck. It's never really a great look. And it never occurred to me that it could be an actual career.
What season of Real World were you?
28.
28. Okay. So it had been around for a little bit.
Yeah. Been around.
The challenge had already started at that point?
The challenge started in 98.
Okay.
The challenge started, so it had been going for a while. But reality TV is thought of like you do it a couple times and then you're just known for reality TV, unless you are Brett Michaels or the Flavor Flav or the New York or whatever. It never really occurred to anybody that you could be a recurring reality TV personality. Then Jersey Shore happens and people are like, oh, we could because the Real World changed people every season. And so did like Road Rules or anything that had like roommate-y stuff. They turned over cast.
So going into the Real World, were you nervous about that? Because I think it's so interesting because you go in there and you're just giving control over to someone else to portray you, and it's not like you're in the edit giving notes. It's like you go in there and you don't really know what's going to come of it. Was that a nerve-wracking thing, or were you just like, fuck it, this is happening?
I think that specifically would have been more nerve-wracking had I truly understood that they had that power. Because I didn't. I thought we're all going to go in here and they're going to show our story. They're going to show it the way it happened.
Yeah.
They didn't?
No. And that's when I was like, oh, and like I'll go back to the, when I was in the last interview and they're like, you got it. I was like, I don't think so. Because all I knew about the Road is you go on there and you get a bad reputation. And then you have to go out into the real world and get a job. And I was like, I could just imagine in 3 years I'm in an interview and they're like,
I recognize that face.
aren't you that guy that was the girl? And it was like, no. But then honestly, I came home after I said no in the interview. I was like, I don't. And they're like, well, think about it. We'll finalize casting soon. I'm like, okay. And my dad was like, dude, if you want to act, you want to get out of Oklahoma, ain't no director or producer coming out of Oklahoma going, hey, I want you to be in my movie. So he's like, say yes, and then figure out what you need to do to become an actor and learn and do that stuff.
Yeah, this will get you out there in some way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we filmed for like 4 months in Portland. And the craziest part of like jumping into that is not that you actually are somebody, but you are thrown into being somebody in this town. Because imagine we just walked into this new town. Mm-hmm. You walk into your first bar or whatever, right? Because that's what you're just excited, like, let's go have a drink, right? And so you walk into this first bar, but you don't just walk into a bar like a regular person. You've got 3 or 4 cameras, you've got lights, you've got a whole production team. And so no matter what, people have no idea who you are. But they're like, can I have your autograph?
Yeah, you're
like,
clearly someone.
And they know real world.
Nobody.
They know real world's happening. I remember in Chicago when they did the Wicker Park one.
Well, so that started happening. At first, it like people didn't know, but then like Portland's like small enough, and these like even any downtown is really small enough that after a few weeks, they're like, oh, that the Real World's filming down here, and that's them. And so people start to catch on, and so
that's the house that they're in.
And then people would be outside of our house like shouting, to be like,
was there much
Jordan
was there much like duty of care for people that were on the show? Did anyone kind of like prep you for how life was going to change when the show came out?
Oh God, no.
No.
And for us, this was an extra like dosing of social media was just starting. We literally, I got Twitter and an Instagram because the producers, after we finished filming, they're like, hey, we're going to be using these things. All I had was a Facebook, and they're like, we're going to be using these other things to like help market the show. So you should get one. And then for me, especially, this was a wild experience. I finished the Real World. Within a month, they hit me up and were like, hey, do you want to do this other show called The Challenge? I was like, yeah, I know. I've seen that. I know what that is. I'm an athlete. I can do that. And there's an opportunity to win money. So I was like, let's go do that. I left and was in Thailand filming that for 8 weeks. I came home. When I was in Thailand, walking into my very first interview on set of The Challenge, as I'm walking in, Danny Waskow, who was the story producer at the time, goes, hey, by the way, your first episode is airing right now in the States. And I was like, wow. But they will not show you when you're on the show. You can't see anything. So I have, for 8 weeks,
vacuum.
I was on television and had no idea of anything. until we like finished the final and everything. And then we were at this hotel after we finished, and they had a computer room. So Marlon and I run down to we're like, dude, we gotta see what's going on. And we run down the computer room, we log on, and we're just like, for like an hour, just scrolling through and seeing like 2 months of like comments and everything. We're just like, what?
Was there ever a moment in that kind of pressure cooker of shooting where you was like, I'm out, I'm done? Was there a moment that they pushed you too far?
Oh yeah.
I feel like every time you come back from a season the last few times, you're like, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Like,
It really
give me an example of like, because I think people are like, I'd love to be on a reality show. This is a great time. Give me an example of where something is not a great time.
Here's a dumb little thing, right? So this is a real life day for us. Wake up at 5:30 a.m. This is a challenge day. Wake up at 5:30 a.m. Breakfast is at 6:30. We're on the bus at 7:30. It's a 3-hour bus ride wherever we're going. We get there, right? So we get on the bus. We're on the bus ride. Inevitably, somebody has to what?
They got to piss.
Go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Mhm.
We cannot stop. We can't stop. And we're looking at gas station after gas station. We're like, we can certainly stop.
We definitely can.
People will piss. People will have to piss in cups or bottles on the bus.
God, really?
Why can't we stop? Well, we haven't, set up the stop and we haven't like security and checked it out. I go, we're not saying film the fucking stop. I'm saying pull over, tell everybody, don't talk about game when you're in the bathroom, which nobody's going to. They're all sleeping
unless it's on a
anywhere.
call sheet, they're not doing it.
They're pissed on the side of the road behind the bus.
Yeah. And but no, can't stop. Can't. A schedule won't allow it. It's not fit in the schedule. We're like, all right. So now we get to challenge location. And they'll always park the bus like a little bit away so we can't like see and start trying to figure out how to like play the game. They want genuine reactions. All good. I understand. We will park next. There's a bunch of construction shit going on. It's a lot. It's a big
production
location. Yeah, it's a big production. 200 to 250 people on set for a challenge day or elimination day, right? It's big. We will have parked the bus near some equipment and some porta potties. And so what do you naturally think? You're like, oh, sick. We can at least go to these porta potties. We'll get up. People will just naturally stand up as soon as the bus stops. And they start to walk off, and security will stand up and block the door and go, sorry, we can't get off. They said, the production in their ear. They said nobody off the bus yet.
God.
We're like, what do you mean? Like, dude, we got to piss. Come on, man.
It's like your prisoners.
It is minimum security prison.
Yeah.
It is. And so they'll be like, sorry, come on. And they're like, dude, come on, I'm going to piss. And we're like, yo, we've already pissed in the bottles. We've already pissed in the cup. Like,
we have no more bottles to be in.
And now, but ask you, I go, this is where my brain kicks in and go, you can't give me a good answer. Why? The stopping, okay, you could write that off with like schedule.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
so you can sell me on that.
Leave a half hour early or bake that into your schedule.
But that doesn't even on what set have you ever been on that is running on fucking time? No. So a 15-minute stop in the middle of a 3-hour drive, I don't think that's going to be what pushes us to miss our day.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
No,
and not if you add it to the schedule.
No, and the amount of time that we are sitting anyway, because inevitably we will have to sit on this bus for a minimum another 15 to 30 minutes before they finally say, let them off. And the bathrooms are right there. So finally, somebody will go, Jordan, could you, because I do not stay very quiet. I'm just like, nah.
Good.
And so I go, all right, I don't even have to piss. Because I have a fucking adult bladder and I can hold it for more than 3 or 4 hours. But whatever, I digress. Okay, my people, I'll help you off this fucking bus. And so I walk up there and now fucking Biggie or whatever fucking security guard, it comes to the point of I go, all right, well, here's the deal. You're either going to have to put your hands on me and stop me from going out the bus or let them fucking piss. And then they move and then I go, okay, everybody go fucking pee, right?
What a fucking rigmarole.
We're treated like lights, like equipment that shows up on set. Somebody calls in and they go, hey, Cass is, sir, Miss Cass is here. And they go, put him over there till we're ready. Because every time we roll up, they're still painting something. They're still rigging something up. It's just fine. It's hard to do what they're doing. We're doing it, in remote places in the world.
But it's what you talked about earlier. It's like you are treated like you're disposable. Like if it's not you, it's someone else.
Well,
Yes.
and that feels unique to reality too, because they're not doing that on the set of Modern Family.
No, exactly.
Like TJ is on that bus with you?
Hell no. TJ is in, whatever.
TJ's the host.
TJ's the host.
Okay.
Whatever, nice ass car he's got in or scooter that he wants to like roll around and he's pulling his phone out.
He's got
And
a
also,
trailer with a nice bathroom.
I'm actually pissed off he has his phone in his pocket because I'm like, dude, I can see the outline in the shot. Like, are we for sure using a close up here? Do we want the option of a wide? Because I don't know. I'm looking at this fucking phone print. But I digress. I'm not spending $500,000 on this fucking episode. I'll stand here in the sun for 8 fucking hours while you guys go, hold, please. Fucking God damn it. We get a 10 by 10 tent. We are 30 to 40 people to start these things, and we get a 10 by 10 tent to stand around in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, hold. I'm like, there's no time. SAG, I mean, you got to eat every 6 hours. You got to give us a meal.
Spite and hatred can be a good motivator.
It was.
And competitiveness. You were one of the most competitive people that I know.
Rob showed me like hammering in those fucking nails. That was insane.
Against Theo.
That was crazy.
Theo.
Yeah.
That was one of the best moments, I think, in reality TV that I've seen.
Thank you.
You're coming in one-handed.
One-handed. I mean, remember, I had already beat Zach with a sledgehammer as well. And what was funny was Zach was in the crowd telling them not to put me in because Theo was in. Theo was the one that was in. They had the choice. My own team had the choice to either put me in or put somebody else in.
Well, they throw you in because you have one hand and they assume you're going to lose.
And a thing is, 100%. That's what Polly and Cara were thinking.
Know your background in construction and sledgehammers.
Yes, because Polly and Cara were not on that season that I beat Zach. And so this big dude, is up there and he goes, don't send him into this. He will win. And they're like, nah, he's got one hand. There's no shot.
Yeah. And you just smoke him.
It wasn't even close.
No, there's like 4 or 5 different groupings of nails. I think Theo's in like the second
3 and 4,
batch.
12 nails. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're done by the time he's
and
like,
he broke a hammer doing it. That's how bad he was at hitting a sledgehammer. He broke the sledgehammer.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just had no idea about your background and what they're up against.
Nah.
So satisfying.
Yes, it is so satisfying.
Can you watch reality TV now, or is it something that you're done with?
I can, but it's so funny how I watch it because like I'll watch it and be like,
because you're looking at the bits.
They use, especially if there's any time they show somebody talking and they show the back of their head, I'm like, they definitely use the voiceover on that. But I mean, or like I'll see a lot of things and I'll be like, oh, those don't look like they're the same day.
Yeah, so you're analyzing the way it's made, which detracts from the joy of it all.
Yeah, a little bit. And also the people. Because of the challenge, like we get all kinds of people from Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race, WWE, American Ninja Warrior, like all walks of people, right? And all types of people who are like, some people are genuine and some people are not. And you just really get a feel for the ones who aren't. And so when I watch, I'm just like, oh, that person's really like trying to like create a character here.
Who's the most overrated, overpaid challenger?
Wow.
I just need some clips.
The most overrated, overpaid
I guess
challenger.
You can answer both. Who's most overpaid and then who's also most overrated?
Most overpaid. This is not personal. The thing is, this is what makes me so good at the game is I separate game and life, okay? Me having these opinions, it's not my opinion of these people, like, as people.
Yeah.
But as a business and a competition, I'm still going to answer. So the most overpaid is Veronica.
Veronica, yeah.
So with the challenge, this is how they get you. There is no negotiating pay. It does not matter, David, that you are popular and you've come in. They're going to go, here's the thing. We only pay via what number challenge this is. All right. So challenge 1, rookie pay. Oof. It's $1,000 a week. 3 weeks guaranteed.
God.
Oof. But it's $10.99. So, figure that out. Maybe you can write something off later. two seasons, 2, 3, 4, you're getting $3,000 a week, right? Still 3 weeks guaranteed though. So you bumped up to 9 weeks. Even if you go $9,000, even if you go home first, $9,000. And then that's how it goes. So then it goes, okay, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7. You get X amount with X weeks guaranteed. 8, 9, 10, X amount of this. So it does not matter if I've won a shit ton and we all know that my face will be used as marketing. This person who has been around for 20 years, not won a single one, not even been to a final, we're not going to use them as marketing. They're going to go home before the middle of the season, but they've racked up enough going homes that they now get paid double what I get paid to show up. Some people triple what I get paid who have never won. Never. So for me,
you're talking about Leroy?
I must win. At least Leroy is funny and he drives story. You know what I mean? But there are people who are there just to be just like this. I say this all the time. I go, we need people to be losers because we don't have 30 winners at the end. Mm-hmm. So you need some losers. And so we are cast like, come on, I know how stats work. Yeah. Can ESPN start running this thing and start giving us some like very off the wall stats about how many seasons and how many like challenges it's been since this person has like done something?
Most overrated.
Most overrated is probably Turbo.
Wait, so how do you feel on the other side of it then? Like you're someone that's done really well in this space, but how do you feel about reality TV as a whole right now? Like you've done it, you're out of it.
Yeah, I think there is a place for it. I think especially with the audience, we can't just sit here and take the stories that, the studios pick. Like we want to see some real stuff. However, getting into now kind of back to like what you're saying, like how produced is some of this stuff? Some of it is egregious. You want to go back to like The Bachelor and like shows like that? It's egregious. They're literally told hey,
fake engagement.
You need to say
at the end of an elimination.
You chill. I am an authentic being. That shit was
so that a little
real.
dig? Yeah.
So Rob's digging. Do you want to set it up? You can set it up. Go ahead. I want to know from a viewer what was this?
Well, Jordan got engaged on the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, holy shit. Right. And I'm sorry, I haven't watched your seasons. I'm from New Zealand. I've got an excuse.
No.
We didn't have it there.
Have TV in New Zealand.
Okay, so you got engaged on the show.
You guys had been dating for a while and it was a big storyline.
Yep.
And then at the end of one of the eliminations, you get down on a knee.
Yeah, it was.
And you propose.
It was really like my plan. Like the plan would have been to like wait till the end. But when you start going into eliminations and everything, then you don't know
sent home?
Where. No, I won.
Wait, so
Chill,
so was
Rob.
was that a genuine thing that you wanted to do, or was that a story point?
So, and this is where like my producer cap comes on because it was something that we had sincerely talked about for a while. We had been talking about for a while. I had actually like talked to her father about like it was like something but like sitting there and I'm like, okay, I know that this is a part of our life and like it would be dumb to not like try and capitalize on this because especially for us, and it's just, I wish it was different, but it was not. Because in that, these production companies will milk everything they can out of you, and then they will help you none.
Yeah.
And so, just living through that, I'm like, no, like we should be smart about this and really try and capitalize on this. Like, if we could at least get our wedding paid for, wouldn't that be rad?
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
Weddings are expensive.
Did you?
No, didn't last.
Oh, fuck. It's annoying.
Because reality TV, it's just hard for some people to like get out of it.
Rob, just out the back of that, I want to make it very clear. I don't know if I have before that I don't watch reality TV.
You don't.
I don't know if I've brought that up.
No, I'm not sure.
I don't really watch it.
I think you brought it up in both interviews too.
He was great.
Yeah, Jordan is awesome.
He's kind of like a reality TV lifer. Like he's been there since almost A. and like season fucking 38 or something.
He's a reality all-star for sure too. And the cool thing about him, a lot of the times on the challenge, the way they'll produce it, I feel like MTV does manipulate the story a little more than some of the other ones. You kind of know that going into it.
Yeah.
There's definitely different like villains each season.
Also, they'll
they're painting.
they'll cast them and talk them up.
Yeah, and just the way it's edited, they'll lean more heavily on it and like show interviews from people that they're against.
I should also say we're recording this on December 3rd. By the time this episode goes out, the challenge will have just wrapped.
Right now, I think is the finale.
Right, okay.
So a couple days ago, the finale will have happened. So we'll see if Turbo is overrated or not. But what I was saying, I think Jordan almost always like is a very well respected, liked character in the seasons.
Yeah, people like him.
He's got like a bit of an ego, which you can tell.
Oh, no, you need one to survive in this world.
Competitive, but never the like shady player doing things that everyone hates that season. Like they do that quite a bit on the challenge where it's like these are the villains of the season that everyone's against, and it's this group versus that group, and this is the good group and this is the bad group.
Well, he's too likable to cast as a villain. That wouldn't work. Like I met him for the first time, talking to him then, and he was fucking lovely.
Yeah.
Good at baseball?
Great at baseball.
Yeah. He's just strong. Is he just strong? Or is he like
Strong,
motivated? He's just like a strong fucker.
Yeah. And fast and just good at whatever.
I meet people like that and I just realize I have no strength or practical ability. And you meet someone like that and they've just got it down. Like you want those people around when something's happening.
Yeah.
Because they'll sort it out. What have we learned about reality TV? What are our learnings?
I think we've learned, we've talked a little bit about the attraction to it and how it really does morph into what you did, what we do.
Totally.
And
the lines, I think, are much more blurred than people would assume.
Yeah, because like you don't like, you don't watch reality TV,
I never
right?
said it, but I don't watch it. But I appreciate it.
But you're a documentary maker, so you're adjacent. You're a
completely.
podcaster.
I'm in the same pool. I mean, we're all doing the same thing. I think journalism, documentary, reality, we've all got this very weird relationship where there is a level of exploitation where it's that thing where you are using someone in your own narrative, in your own story.
Yeah.
And that can't not be slightly exploitative.
Yeah, and there's just like weird different formats of it, of like this one's for entertainment, this one's competition, this one in what makes it fall into these different buckets.
And I think there's such an art to making a reality show work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to do, like from the casting to the storytelling to the editing, all of it.
Well, and then you also get into the like brilliance of How To with John Wilson or Nathan Fielder that are just like,
where you subvert the entire format.
Yeah. Where it's like, we're going to kind of play in this world, but then we're also going to get really meta about it. And
well, you've got the second season of The Rehearsal, where you've got Nathan Fielder, who is aware that everyone knows about reality and can now cast a fake reality show to the point where contestants are so aware of the format they don't know it's fake.
Yeah.
And they create it for a whole different version.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, it gets weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for some feedback?
Let's get some feedback.
So we had a lot of feedback to the auditors episode.
Yeah.
The idea of First Amendment auditors, I think, was news for a lot of people, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of feedback. Here's some of it. UG wrote in saying, and I thought this was interesting. It was kind of a different take, because I think it's fair to say that I was fairly disparaging of First Amendment auditors.
Yeah, you're pretty harsh.
Still am. I think they're no more worthy than shit on a shoe. But UG said, long-time listener, I'm concerned about how you view people exercising their constitutional rights. America was founded on we the people, and public servants, from police to librarians, are supposed to serve citizens, not the other way around. The word servant shouldn't be viewed as derogatory. If you remember from the episode last week, the auditor was chasing a librarian around going, servant, do this.
Yeah.
It was derogatory as fuck. Anyway, this perspective. The word servant shouldn't be viewed as derogatory. It simply reflects that government roles exist to serve the public, even though in reality it often doesn't feel that way. It's very disheartening that you had 2 assistant professors of public law on the show, but no First Amendment auditors, and that you said you wouldn't be open to dialogue with one. We should always be willing to hear both sides. Recording in public isn't political, so it shouldn't matter whether someone is a right-wing libertarian or a leftist. Our rights take precedent over political party. First Amendment auditors' videos have taught me, amongst a multitude of other things, that there is no privacy in public, and they've also taught me about the right to FOIA someone, Official Information Act. Auditors raise awareness about people's rights, and that's important because there are so many videos showing that government employees, citizens, even police, the people who enforce our laws, often don't know the rights we're supposed to live under. And that is certainly a perspective.
Well, I don't think either one of us had an issue with the idea of a First Amendment auditor.
Absolutely.
It was the execute. I mean, we even specifically
Agreed.
said, like, go hold people accountable that need to be held accountable that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
And leave the poor woman at a library that's being harassed alone.
Agree.
So, yeah.
And I think that's where there's this weird disconnect that happens where I think you and I both back the theory of what a First Amendment auditor wants to demonstrate.
Right, because George Floyd, people
Film the fuck out of it.
documenting what police officers are doing if they're not acting as they should is important. And I think both of us are all for that.
Harping on about documentary, like I need to film in public spaces.
Well, and there's so much of the ICE stuff that's going on right now.
Film it.
Like being filmed
Desperately
is important.
I think where it becomes deeply annoying, and what I think a point I'll probably clumsily make, is that it's kind of like what came up during the pandemic with the QAnon crowd, that were trying to catch pedophiles. And it's like, we are all very anti-pedophile, but no one in that conspiracy movement that was trying to catch a pedophile caught a pedophile.
No.
It's like the people that found Jeffrey Epstein were journalists. And I think the whole idea of First Amendment auditors kind of holding people to account, and none of them are revealing anything that is actually important. They're purely trying to make a point, but in making the point, they've been fucking annoying.
Yeah, I mean,
to everybody around them. Show me a First Amendment auditor that reveals police brutality or something that is actually worth revealing, as opposed to I'm annoying a bunch of staff who are trying to like run the country.
Yeah. And if that effective auditor like isn't 9 out of 10 times being annoying to a librarian, but is like fully focused on justice and like making sure that
making change in society for good.
Yes.
So I think that it's just interesting, and we got a few people in, and I appreciate Yuji for writing him, because I feel like it's a point of view that exists, but it's something I would still resist.
I did see one comment of someone that did say that here was an auditor that has done good things.
I called bullshit on it.
Yeah, I didn't look further into it. I don't want that in my algorithm and my.
No, well, a few people wrote in where they did start looking at these videos on YouTube, and very much it got into their algorithm.
Yeah.
So actually, Richard, this is my next bit of feedback. Your topic this week made me laugh when I read it. It started with a random video on Facebook of an auditor. After watching if the algorithm did its thing, now I've been inundated in my feed with audit videos. And I think that's the thing. Like, this is so it's so big.
Yeah.
And once you tap into this on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, you'll see a lot of it.
It just takes over.
I've gone down the rabbit hole on this topic. I find it hard to explain, but they keep dragging me in. On one hand, I understand the idea of what they're doing with people's rights being such a hot topic. But as you say, they're just really, really annoying.
I mean, do we want to offer the opportunity of, like, if there are videos of good auditors doing
I want to see them.
things, send them in.
I'll happily see them.
We'll post them on our Patreon.
If an auditor has done something good in the universe,
Our
I fucking
Patreon
want to see
is just going to turn into
another auditor
somehow
channel.
an auditor channel because
Jesus. Can you
I think we
can you
both
imagine?
we both are confident enough that we're not going to get that many good ones.
Oh,
It's
there
gonna-
are no, I guarantee you, there's not one auditor that has done anything worthwhile. Peter said, I just wanted to share how much I loved your episode on First Amendment auditors. I appreciated the compassion when talking to the librarian and her daughter who bravely shared their story. Kudos to them. Michael just wrote in with a subject line, fucking auditors, which I appreciated. Long story short, my wife and I dealt with him a couple of years ago. My wife worked for a smaller township here in Michigan, and the whole office was under fire for a bunch of bullshit. And the way the videos got edited, if you didn't know any better, you'd side with him and his friends.
That does remind me, I don't know if you noticed this, the comments on this episode on our Patreon.
Yes.
A lot of them were filtered because I think people were so enraged by the topic and these people that they were swearing and calling them names. So they weren't saying anything bad to us.
No, there was
but
some language being used.
Yes. So it
Oh, that's so funny.
filtered their comments. And
Yeah, I noticed that because I was going through Patreon, going to reply to people, and they were hidden.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It definitely
People have emotions about
excited
it.
people in
Rightfully
good or bad
so.
ways.
Melissa wrote in, I teach at a public school in Washington State. Last year, we were alerted to First Amendment auditors visiting school districts across the state. They target school offices, selfie stick in hand, and demand all the information that Betsy was asked for. Names, hire dates, salaries, titles. The man who did this called himself James and dressed in full costume. Don't know what the full costume was. I think he attempted to visit schools, which adds a different level of intensity to the whole thing.
Yeah, once you had kids.
Oh, yeah, stay the fuck away from kids. Like you said in the episode, they're targeting some of the most altruistic people in our society. I don't know anyone out there arguing that teachers, librarians, and other public servants make too much money. I'd love to challenge any of these auditors to come teach middle school for a day. These YouTuber bullies wouldn't last 15 minutes. And just finally, Lauren said, you said that you didn't think they'd go to a courthouse or a police station. I work in a courthouse and have dealt with one of these asshats before. Our county manager building is next door, so I referred him over there for any county-related questions. I handled him fairly well. Then one of my co-workers came up and started yelling at him about not videoing, which again, worst thing you can do with an auditor. Which is obviously exactly what he'd want. She called the deputies that handle court security in the building, and they told her he had a right to video, which again, a First Amendment auditor would go, that's my point I'm trying to make. Who gives a shit? Anyway, I never searched for the video, but I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. Okay, another topic. We discussed the phenomenon of entering a bookstore and needing to evacuate.
A bowel movement.
Or bladder? Bladder? Bowel?
Bowels.
Bowel. I always want to wee.
I think that's, maybe the same.
Lisa writes in, I don't have any scientific evidence about pooping in bookstores, but I worked at a Borders around 2006 while I was in college, and I can give anecdotal evidence that is truly a real thing. We were in a big store with relatively small bathrooms, just 2 stalls in each, and had to deal with a lot of accidents. The word accidents is never good.
That's wild that there's an over-indexing in people shitting themselves in bookstores.
Yeah. One memorable December night. She's remembered this for 20 years now. We had a lot of people in the store, and I guess all the stalls were full, so someone took a massive dump in the ladies' room sink. As Borders was a large corporation, thankfully, those of us hourly employees that were there were not permitted to clean up hazardous waste, and thus a special cleaning crew had to be called in, leading to the bathroom closed for a few hours. This led to an even worse backup in the men's room and a lot of unhappy customers. I'm not sure if the coffee stops at bookstores play into this phenomenon also, but it's definitely real.
I saw a friend yesterday that's from Ireland, and she had mentioned that America seems to have more poop accidents than other countries.
Ireland.
At least Ireland. She lives in London.
Interesting.
Are there a lot of people shitting themselves in New Zealand?
No, I've never run into a poop in a sink.
Yeah.
In New Zealand.
I've the movie theater I worked at, someone shat in the sink.
Are you serious?
At one point in the women's room.
God.
Someone has on the stairs there. I don't know.
I just can't.
Is it uniquely American?
I think it might be.
Yeah, that was her theory, was that that there maybe is something about our diet, or
it's either a lack of bathroom access, diet.
That was my initial thought, was maybe it's diet, maybe it's what's in our food.
It's horrific.
It's the amount
if
Americans
the
are
First
consuming.
Amendment auditors could start documenting some of that, I would have some time for them.
Well, maybe an episode on
when did Flightless Bird's numbers plummet? I think it's when you did the episode about shitting in sinks for 2 hours.
Why Americans shit themselves as much as they do.
No, it's valid. We talked about struggling to pee in front of people. Dan has the same problem. Apparently, the condition is called paruresis.
Oh, we have a disease.
Or shy bladder syndrome. I could honestly be at breaking point where I'm about to piss myself, and if someone walks up next to me, I just can't. They're standing there looking like a weirdo, standing there just doing nothing other than holding my penis. I've found that sometimes I can pick a spot on the wall and count anything, but I can just try to take my mind off it. Otherwise, I just use cubicles if they're free. It's the worst feeling.
I would like
Paruresis.
I'd like to reassure him. I think he's not looking like a weirdo if he's just standing at the urinal. People aren't aware if you're peeing or not.
I agree. It's much more.
I've had that thought too, where like, I'm not peeing right away and I'm just standing there. No. They don't hear that I'm peeing, but no.
It's like that thing where like you're walking around with a pimple, like you feel like the whole world can see it. No one gives a shit. It's just you're worried about it because you're in that moment. So stand boldly, gripping your penis stand at a urinal, not peeing. Don't worry about it. Finally, Taylor, because I think we got on to talking about phobias at some point with the sound of chewing and eating. Taylor said, I thought I would share my weird phobia with you since it came up. I have a phobia of dry hands and feet. And I was intrigued by this. I was like, what do you mean by that? Specifically, them rubbing together or touching me. Like the ridges and fingerprints or even dry shoelaces. One time I was behind a man at the bank that was rubbing his hands together for a long period of time to get warm, and I had a panic attack. I had to leave without even cashing my check. I believe it would be classified as xerophobia, Xerophobia. It's a hard one to have, as many people like rubbing their hands together. You are almost rubbing your hands together now, Rob, but away from the microphone, which is very respectful.
I don't love the dry rub either.
Really?
Yeah.
It gives you an uncomfortable...
Yeah, there's like a texture thing I don't like. Even like the idea
Well, yeah, it's like they said on shoelaces was a problem. Oh, so you've got a bit of that.
I think so, yeah. And like couch textures, I'm pretty particular about. It just, I'm afraid to go sit on that couch, but I don't like certain.
It's a friction.
It's like a roughness, I think, more than a friction. But
so
maybe
you
a
like
bit of that.
Things lubed up and smooth.
Or just soft.
Like, so just this is a serious question, but for you, dry hands rubbing together would be less appealing than a lubed up, wet hand rubbing.
Yeah. Is it not for you?
No, I like it. I'd rather have I feel that's more repulsed by a lubed up, wet hands rubbing than dry hands.
That's all. Yeah. Wet, lubed up hands sounds gross. That's like covered in slime.
That's what you want, apparently.
But
dry is clean and fresh.
I feel the like burn of that.
Also, it's like you sort of think of how it feels.
Yes.
Interesting.
Where like, yeah.
Okay, if you have a phobia, it's always flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com.
Yeah, send us pictures if you have them too.
Of what? Shitting in a sink.
To post on Patreon.
To post on Patreon. Remember our Patreon rewards things we will do for you as we reach certain subscriber levels.
At patreon.com/flightlessbird.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
So 1,000.
1,000
David's gonna
members.
get an egg cracked on his head, and we're gonna do a marathon screening of Lord of the Rings.
First in, first served for Flightless Bird listeners. Come along to the screening. If we reach 1,500,
Rosabelle's coming.
we are flying her to LA, and we will quiz her about what her first email address at hotmail.com was.
We should shoot like a Coming to America type
Be fun.
thing with her.
I should note I haven't told Roosevelt we're doing this shit.
Yeah, I know. She doesn't listen, so she won't know either.
She won't know. What's the next one? Was it
tattoo at 2,000 matching tattoos that the Patreon community will decide on.
Flightless Bird themed?
Yeah.
Not on the face, but on the bod.
Yes.
So, and for 5,000 subscribers, we will do some more episodes of Dark Tourist. We did a season on Netflix in 2018. Ever since then, Netflix, they didn't want any more. I don't know if it was the pandemic. They might have hated it. I don't know. Ever since then, I've been plagued by people saying, where's Dark Tourist?
Yeah, I'm adjacent to you.
Yeah.
And I've seen you harassed about season 2.
Years. Endless.
Yeah. So get us to 5,000
and we will make you some more episodes.
Yeah.
We had a season 2 planned out, so like I know places I want to go.
Do you think it'd be to fit the tone of this show? Will it be American based? Or are you going?
I think I would only to think about this more. I think 1 episode in America. I think 1 episode offshore.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd like to do that.
And it probably depends on if you make it back.
It does, if I actually can get back into the country or not.
Well, I mean, it'll be all overseas if not.
Well, yeah, no, never back in again.
When we get to 5,000.
Yeah, right, purely over. So those are our 4 tiers that we'd like to reach. Thank you for supporting the show always. Patreon.com/flightlessbird.
Yeah, you get ad-free versions of this show. You get bonus episodes every week. And feed pictures from David. And most importantly, you help us make this show. And
to which we are eternally grateful.
And with that, here's a preview of our bonus episode on Patreon right now. So go over to patreon.com/flightlessbird and
roll tape. We are doing today the Q&A sesh.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to hit you up, Rob, with Alice's question. This is one of these hypotheticals. Would you rather be abducted by space or underwater aliens?
Space is too vast and scary.
Rob, would you be willing to do more conspiracy stories in Flightless Bird? Love learning about people's weird obsessions that I've never ever heard of.
From Danielle, who sings the original Flightless Bird intro.
All right. I believe you have info on this, Rob.
Speaking of music, Josh asked, David, did you go to a Fish concert at the Hollywood Bowl in April? I thought I saw you there. Love the show.
I get this a reasonable amount where people say, did I see, not at Fish concerts.
Most of the people I think are you at first glance are old women.
Oh, yeah, old lesbians typically. Elena says, Rob, what exactly does a podcast producer do?
It depends.
It's psychotic. Like the level of busyness is crazy with you.
This is for David. Mm-hmm. What is the most terrifying location you've had to have a bowel movement?
It was actually cut out of Dark Tourist. There was a place where I needed to use the bathroom. Actually, the more I think about this, the scarier it gets. Holy shit. Probably have a radioactive rectum right now. Awful to think about.